Here from a West Ham fan now from West Ham Fan TV. Dan Lawless is with us this morning on Weekend Breakfast. Dan, good morning to you. You feeling good?
Hi, Dan.
Morning. Do you know what? I'm feeling good. My nerves are still absolutely shot. That was probably one of the most stressful 90 minutes I've had in a long time, honestly. But I'm buzzing with the win,
Yeah.
obviously.
Tell us, Dan, because did it feel like the final game of the season yesterday, even though it wasn't? Because it got very dramatic with obviously Spurs being level for so long. You then got to the spot where you were drawing and they were winning. Did it feel like last day of the season?
It did, yeah. It did have those vibes the last day of the season feeling. And when Everton equalised, Spurs were winning. Oh, it just in my head, I was just fuming. I felt that's it, it's over. But in football, it's never over till it's over. But yeah, the feeling was when we scored, it was just pure shock, euphoria. I couldn't believe it because it just seemed like we'd given up in a way. Like once we scored. Nuno went defensive and sat back, invited Everton on. It just felt like it was inevitable. But fair play to the team because we just didn't give up after that. So yeah, it did have last game of the season feel.
Yeah, tell us, because I mentioned there the start of March where you won at Fulham. It felt like that was the start of the recovery from West Ham, where we're now seeing a team literally knitted together by Nuno, and you're seeing the outcome of what's happening on the field now.
Yeah, do you know what? And I go back to the transfer window really, and I think that's what's had the impact. We signed the two forwards, Castellanos and Pablo, who haven't really made an impact in terms of goals and assists, but playing them two up top has freed up players like Somerville to get forward more, and that change in formation, playing the two up top, is what's allowed us to start picking up points, start looking like a better team. And our defence as well, signing Disasi, which I really didn't expect him to be as successful as he's been. It's been a brilliant signing. Our defence has been so much better as well. That was the big source of our problems, our defence. That we conceded the most set pieces in the league. We was giving up dropping the most points from winning positions in the league. And we've started to pick up clean sheets, started to see games out, and the January I think has been a big change, and bringing in a new assistant coach for Nuno as well, who's a little bit more attacking minded. I think it's changed our fortunes for sure.
I'd add to that the experience, and these players probably won't be at West Ham next season. But if you look at Souček and you look at Wilson, who got the goals yesterday, Souček and Wilson have scored 11 goals in the Premier League combined. That is a quarter of the goals that West Ham have scored. And I know that isn't a large number, and they probably won't be there next season, but that experience of having these sort of guys and Callum Wilson to do what he's done all his career, that has also added to what West Ham have had for me.
Yeah, that honestly, Callum Wilson has justified his signing through that goal alone. If he doesn't score another goal for West Ham, I'm not going to complain because that is absolutely huge. And having someone like Souček is big because I think the big issue that we had, one of the issues we had early in the season, Graham Potter, he started getting rid of all the experienced players, the Soufals and Creswells and Fabianskis. Antonio obviously had the bad injury, but we had all of these players that had been there so long, had that leadership in the dressing room, and he just shipped them all out. So having someone like Souček, who loves the club, who gives everything for the club, there is huge, and he will always pop up with a goal here and there, and that is a big goal.
Like you say, you're not ready yet, Dan, to switch off any kind of nerves, but looking ahead for us then, Brentford away next, you'll have your eyes on what Spurs are up to because they've got Villa, but Villa will be fresh off their Europa League first leg semi-final. How do you see this playing out? Are you confident that West Ham can get the job done?
Do you know what? I'm never confident Brentford. Brentford's not a great place for us to go, to be honest with you. But it's a situation of we have to put that out of our mind. We have to turn up and we have to try and win the game. Like, look, whether we will win it, I'm not confident if we can get a point and Spurs lose because, look, I think there's this feeling like Spurs, we're going to beat them because they're playing in Europe on Thursday. Like, they scraped a win over a poor Wolves side that was relegated. I think they had one shot on target all game. That Villa team, even though they will have played in Europe, a completely different animal. They've just lost Xavi Simons, who seemed to finally turn things around. Brighton, he got the golden assist So he looks like his season's over. Solanke's season's over. When it rains, it pours for them. So I'm confident that Spurs won't win, but I'm not confident that we'll win. But as long as we can match their results,
Yeah.
we're up. You know what I mean? Like if we get one less point than them for the rest of the season, we're safe.
So just one final word on this. Looking at them from the start of the season, and there was a lot of, the unhappiness within the club and many different aspects of it. It feels very different where the fans have somehow come on board along the way. And I think that's greatly down to Nuno, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say it's down to Nuno. It's down to the players giving the fans a team we can actually believe in. The protests have still been going on. Karen Brady has left, so I think that has actually lifted the fan base a bit. But there's still, I think there was still protests yesterday to get David Sullivan out. So I think there's this idea of, look, let's continue protesting, let's continue focusing on trying to get David Sullivan out, but during that 90 minutes, we're behind the team fully. And I think the team know that. The team know when we're protesting, we're not against the team. We're with the team fully. We're with Nuno, but we're against David Sullivan. So that has worked. And I just hope we stay up. I really do. It is going to be a nervy end to the season. And I can't bear it. If it goes to that last day, that is going to be a horrible last day. If that was nervous yesterday, playing on the last day of the season, it was horrible. I had Spurs' game on and our game on at the same time. And I was just, oh.
You sound desperate, Dan.
I am. Because it's even worse. Like if not just us getting relegated, but us getting relegated and keeping Spurs in the league, the stakes are higher, you know.
No one likes Spurs, do they?
No one does, especially us. We got to send them down. We have to.
Chelsea, Arsenal, and West Ham.
Is it Chelsea have Spurs in the last game of the season? Is that right?
No, that's second last game.
Second last game.
Second last game away. It's at Stamford Bridge.
Right, okay.
I think they have Everton at home.
Yes, they do. You're right.
If Moyes wins that, mate, he lost to us, beat Spurs, certified West Ham legend, 100%. You can't debate it if he wins that game.
Well, let's be honest, Dan. You've now got 4 more final days of the season to go.
Yeah, honestly, it's a good job all my hair has gone already. Because it will definitely be gone by the end of the season, that's for sure.
Dan, you got this. Look after yourself. Thanks for getting up early and speaking to us.
No worries. Thanks for having me, guys. Have a good rest of the show.
Cheers, Dan. Bye-bye.
And that's Dan Lawless from West Ham Fan TV.
Just shows you, and it's amazing how it's panned out at the end of the season, where it just feels like, we have got these. I was looking at the fixtures earlier for Spurs and West Ham. They've got some toughies in there, and Leeds have got both. They're playing Spurs and West Ham in their running.
And like you say, it's the fans who've got, it's the sickener for them. But for everyone else, for this job, it's like, oh, God, it's very entertaining.
I just found it weird that West Ham, Arsenal and Chelsea all really don't like Spurs.
Morning, guys. Good to have you with us. Right, loads coming up for you on TalkSport today. After us, Sean Custis and Henry Winter.